So I think now we've got Aaron who's going to join us here in the studio. Aaron's going to give us a bit of a chat about what's going on, what he's seen, and he's been out there on the floor as well. And so Aaron, brilliant you're here in the studio. It's down now to the wire, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
How many teams now? I think it's the last two now?
I think it's the last two out of 54.
Wow, and we've got L2O, I think, of staying in. They didn't have the best run there in the semis, did they?
No, not
as good as the previous two. 305, 305.
Obviously, you're talking really high
in the semi-final, but if they can get those ironed out now in this is... And who's up against them, do you know?
I haven't seen the scores.
So if we can find out who's up here into the final, that would be fantastic. We've definitely got L2O. Who's to L2O? It's NTech of all people, so NTech.
NTech and L2O.
Yeah, and it's weird, isn't it? Because actually, overall, during the normal days, it was the West Linton Water Dragons
and they were on my table, actually, as I'm referring, and they were on my table when they had their amazing run of 295 points. Is crazy.
Yeah.
And in the knockouts, they've not made it.
No, it's weird, isn't it? So they just had nailed that perfect run. Knockouts come along, it's not happened for them.
And I think it's really important that the teams get consistency in their robots, and that's by far the hardest thing.
Absolutely. So NTech, we're just having a look here. I'm just looking. NTech at Endon High School, so a good shout out to you. And then we've also got L2O, which is a home group. So supporters out there, that's who we've got. Aaron's joined us here in the studio for the final commentary of the day, I believe. Yeah. So this is a moment, and hopefully we're going to be able to see everybody there. There's some of the crowd. They're getting ready to see this on the big screen as well. They're looking forward to it.
It's such an exciting atmosphere out there. It's absolutely mad.
It's buzzing. You see now, just looking out the gallery windows here, you can hardly see a space to get a view of a table now, really. I mean, it's lucky we've got a great view here from all the camera feeds coming in.
Probably got the best in the building, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely, and the viewer at home as well, and anybody looking on the big screen. But it's going well. And there's we've actually got that little fire engine here in the studio as well, and they look bigger than they are. A lot of these things are really small.
They're really small, yeah. And it's a small margin for error. When you've got the robot, it's very easy to miss this thing. You know, you can go for it and actually you only kind of glance
and yeah, if you only glance it, it turns it and it's off in a different direction, isn't it? So that's a hard bit. Yeah, so I think I can hear some announcements going. We're getting close now to the point where this game of the day comes into play. And what do you think they'll do here? Do you think they'll go all out for it, the H2Os, and they'll put the L2Os rather, and they'll put a massive program in, try 5 again, or do you think they'll play it a bit safer?
I would be surprised but very impressed if they changed anything up at this point.
So they're going to go for the 305
I reckon they'll go as safe as they can, but I also kind of hope that we get something really exciting.
Well, we normally do from L2Os. I mean, we saw there in the last round where, you know, it didn't go to plan and it starts. So once that massive robot gets out of alignment, it's not doing anything then. And it has so many missions in each of it runs.
Yeah, it's really difficult when you get just a tiny fraction at the beginning, and that can skew the whole rest of the
absolutely. So, you know, this is going to be a great run. What's the sort of takeaway you've had from today then, Aaron? You've been out there on the tables. Yep. You've seen a few teams coming through. What was the most fantastical thing you've seen happen?
There were loads. I have to say, I really liked the West Linton Water Dragons because they kept it really simple. They had a really small robot with really only just one main.
We had it here in the studio.
It was tiny compared to, I mean, L2Os is enormous.
You're talking this big, where am I here? That big for L2O as opposed to that
really
big for West Linton.
And yet, in the robot performance at least, they were, the West Linton Water Dragons were ahead of everybody else by quite a way. And I think it shows that, you know, a big robot can be great, but
simple can be effective.
Yeah, it really can. It's more efficient.
Of the day, it's coming up. I can see flags waving now, which means we're getting close. And here it is. There they are. There's two tables together, back to back. Look, you've got closest to us, NTech, and on the far side is actually in this final here. It's two fairly good sized robots. They're not the smallest, so it's interesting, isn't it? Here we go. A little bit of a drum roll here, and everybody's getting ready to go. it's just absolutely packed out there at the moment.
So that is NTEC's robot, I believe. They've actually got, fun fact that you might not pick up on the cameras, they've actually got a little sticker on their robot that says NTEC with their little logo, which is great.
We're just waiting for the L2O table flag to go up, I believe, and then we will see this final run of the day before all the scores are tallied up and we have our award show, so stand by for that. And that's where it really gets exciting, because although you might have won the robot games, you've still got to find out whether or not your project has really wowed those judges, and it all adds together with all the other points that you get for teamwork and all that kind of stuff, and you become the overall winner.
Yeah, Champions Award goes to the team that has the best of all of the parts. You can't just have a great robot,
Absolutely.
You need everything else.
Although this particular section, the knockout, doesn't count towards that, does it?
No, this is for
This
fun,
is a
you get a
fun
great
thing.
trophy,
Absolutely.
But doesn't count towards champions.
Exactly. So although this is the bit they're all waiting for now, all those other team members and people now, just to find out whether or not they're going to be robot champion, but actually, you know, the West Linton guys will be sat back now relaxing and thinking, yeah, let's hope we've done well in our project.
They've got their robot performance. This will be for the knockout award, and then the really exciting ones happen later on.
Absolutely. So we're just awaiting now. This is the excitement's building. And it really is. There's a buzz out there. People are getting a bit nervous and twitchy. There's people drinking water. Oh, we might have a problem here. The flags were up, but the flag flew off. We'll get a replay of that for you afterwards. The flags are up. They flew straight into the middle of the table. And if they've broken the model, right, I think we're okay. It can happen to the best of everybody. Like.
You can see how excited everyone is just by looking.
Here we
at
go. They're going, here we go. So this is NTEC's robot going straight across. It does a lovely move there. It now pushes across, pushes that back into place, knocks the water onto the other side. The rain release, is it going to do it?
Yep, that's the rain.
Did the rain fall?
Yes, at least only one of them has to fall to
All
get
right,
the points.
brilliant, that's it. Okay, I didn't quite catch that one there. There was the timer clock in the bottom corner was obscuring it for me. And now we've got we don't see that one done very often as
that's
well.
That's a slingshot, the little red one, and that's quite far away. It's right at the other end. It's really difficult to get into the
And what are the points?
I think that's about 25. So
It's
don't
not a
hold me
lot,
to
is it? Oh, and that just came across there now. What are they doing?
Oh, so the big water.
The big water's fallen off. It didn't
not,
actually land.
So they don't get the fountain points.
No.
And that could, even that one mission could be the difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now they're picking up the... Do you know what? I'm not sure that this hasn't... Here? Oh no, it's picked it up. It's
they've
picked
got
it up. Whoa!
So the tripod's gone flying, and I'm not sure if it'll hit points. But the slingshot that we mentioned earlier, they've managed to get.
Up to the air, did it? That was incredible.
It must have knocked on something. I've never seen that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, tiny little things that just made all the difference. Just those tiny little variables there, and we just saw some unusual things happening here to NTEC's robot.
Yeah, so they've got a really complicated system with gears and everything. They have this base robot, and then these enormous rigs that they can pull on and off, which gives it all the size that you see.
The way they just clip them on is phenomenal, isn't it?
It's so fast compared to some of the other attachments. It gives them a real advantage.
Here they go.
But only if it works.
Over. Again, this is a run that we weren't expecting to see here in the finals. I can't talk now. I'm that excited. We weren't expecting to see it here at the end. They've gone for it. They've really pushed the boat out, and things just haven't got to plan. But we don't know what's happening on the other table at the moment. We'll try and bring you their score as well. It's going up again. It just can't get over that. It's bizarre. I don't understand. How's that happening? It's been working fine.
I think robots get camera shy, is my opinion.
Do you know, you might be onto something. We should look back and work out how many teams have come on camera and not done good.
I have to say, my money would be on L2O at this point.
Yeah,
this is the last chance.
Absolutely. Yeah, straight over, no problem
and
at all.
Just out of time. That's such a shame, because they would have gotten that point.
You see the disappointment there, the absolute just pain on their faces that you can see. But L2O were looking quizzical at their table as well, so... And they won't know, because they've been concentrating on their own table. They won't know.
So in that replay, you can see that the big water, when it was transferred across with the flow mission, sometimes, I've only seen it once today, sometimes it can go into the black square. That will give the other you don't want to give the other team even an extra 5, 10, 20.
You want it to go in the black square on the other side, yeah.
I saw.
So let's have it lifts that one. There's the tripod. Whoa! That was incredible. It sort of kept hold of it somehow and kind of broke it in bits.
That definitely was not supposed to happen.
That wasn't supposed to happen, I don't think. No, absolutely. So they're putting a different, and this was weird because I've seen it do this before, and it's done. But each time there, it's almost like it was a different ramp than the ramp before.
Yeah, the smallest things can make the difference with these robots, and it could have been one pin not pushed in properly somewhere in the robot, and it makes these minute differences make an enormous change when you're running the robot. So that's right after the time, and it's a shame because they would have gotten the points for that. You could see it drop in perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you have to do it in the 2.5 minutes.
So we'll bring you the results of that final as soon as we get them. The referees at the everything happened perfectly.
The meticulous the referees have been all day.
And so when the game finishes, about working out as it's going through, are you marking down what they've done, what they haven't done, how many penalties? How do you keep up to date with everything that's going on?
It's a lot to keep in your mind. Generally, penalties as we go.
Yep.
And then at the end we have a list. We have a list, and we have to go. The yellow pipe, is that back in base? Have they pushed the filter? Is the latch down? And you go through it with them, and you check every single one. But some of them require methods. So you have to, as you're watching the round, you have to make sure that any of the missions they're doing in the correct method. Some of them, like the fountain, you've seen, you have to make it rise with the big water. You can't just push it with your robot. So it's a balance of your and the team to make sure that they're happy with it.
And is there just yourself looking for that on the table, or is there more than one referee per table?
We have here at the Nationals in Bristol, we have 2 referees table, which make yeah. So one person might be in charge of the penalties and keep track of that, and one person will be, keeping an eye on the missions, and it's just one less thing to keep in your head.
Exactly. And then, our team's allowed to say, well, actually, I did this, have another look for me, and then you have a chat and you think, actually, yeah, maybe that was right.
They can absolutely dispute something.
Yeah.
If they cannot come to an agreement with the referee, we get the head referee, and the say is final.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm just hearing at the moment that the winner of the finals isn't going to be announced until the award ceremony.
Oh.
So I was literally trying to find out there, and in my little earpiece here, I just had somebody come over saying, no, they're not going to let me know until we get to the award ceremony. That's properly cruel. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be, hopefully that's what's happening, because if it isn't, I'll find out again for you. But right at this moment in time, we're going to keep you on the edge of your seats and make sure you watch to the end of the awards to find out who won. But it was between L2O and the Endtech, wasn't it?
Endtech, yeah.
Yeah, Endtech. And we don't know which way it won. We could see when we looked over at the end there, as it panned across, you could see L2O kind of,
It could be really close. It's really hard to tell, and I think even the teams won't know, even the people there, because there's so many missions. Even watching it, I don't think you can really think at this point. Only the referees are.
I guess some people around the table will be doing what you're doing, which is kind of filling in their heads the form, the numbers. They'll have gone away and said, and maybe someone from each team. I mean, I guess if it was you guys from the past, because you played, right? You were a big team. Which team was yours?
I was Rubbish Runners back in 2016.
2016. How did it go?
We did well. We were overall runners-up that year, so we went through to the European Championships to represent the UK.
There you go. So fantastic. So, I'm sure if it was your team there, you'd have had one person watching the other team and working out how much they got. So
that would have been me.
Yeah,
that would have been
exactly,
me.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing
all
all the
you're a
maths.
referee doing the maths. Yeah, absolutely. And what are you up to now then in your free time or school time? What stage are you at now?
So I'm doing A-level maths. The aim to inspire kids into engineering definitely worked on me.
Yeah.
And ideally, I'd like to go to a career in engineering.
And you're thinking of university? Which one are you thinking of at the moment?
I will say I'm slightly biased because I also referee at the Queen Mary's Regional.
Right.
And we get fed a lot.
So you're
The pizza's
basing
there,
which university you want to go
It's a
to.
great university.
So, yeah, I'm not going to that one. I'm not going to that one because that one's food is awesome.
You haven't seen the pictures of the food we get. It is phenomenal.
Well, I'll tell you what, the next time you do the Queen Mary's, you'll have to invite me down because I like my food. So what you think?
Software engineering.
Software engineering.
On the FLL team, my strength was like to carry that
And
forward.
before FLL, were you into software programming? Did you know a lot about it?
I'd done it a little bit. I'd never worked with robotics, so that was a fun first year, kind of getting to grips with all of that. But I think really I've been doing FLL for I think 5 years now. So without it, I certainly think my aims for the future would look very, very different.
Really, isn't that amazing? So it really has made that much of an impact on
yeah.
your life. And what about all the rest of the things, the sort of presenting, the teamwork? Did it change you in that way as well?
Yeah.
I mean, were you quite shy when you joined FLL originally?
I don't say that I've. Certainly is a really important.
Yeah.
And when you're doing the project presentations, especially, it's really key that you get across everything that you have to say because you have time and a lot to. And certainly, I think my public speaking has increased. Wow.
And that's really, I mean, that's an important part of being in any walk of life, in any job, is being able to talk to people.
Being able to communicate. Yeah, and obviously the teamwork, which is, you know, they stress all the time, but it's crucial to pretty much anything. You have to be able to work with other people.
So, we haven't been able to give you the final winners because they're going to announce it at the awards show, which is really disappointing for us as well because
I really want to know now.
So what we're going to do now is while they're getting everything ready for the final awards and all that kind of stuff, we're going to show you just to keep you entertained, and we'll come back to you once we get to the awards. Okay, so let's see what videos they've got for us.